Hello dear learner students, welcome back in the channel of chemistry. This is Dr.Jyoti Shegokar and you are welcome once again. This is here generally we carry out the study of all engineering topics which comes under engineering chemistry. So guys, nearly we have covered all the topics. Now our new topics are like this, that we are discussing the different units according to what type of questions will be asked. So today this is our first unit, that is water treatment or its analysis and its analysis. So in this particular, under the heading of this particular chapter, what type of questions can be asked, that today we are going to discuss. And with that, what are the methods to write its answers, that we are going to discuss today. So guys, our very first topic under the heading of our unit number 1, that is hardness of water and its types. In this hardness of water, the question can be asked like this: what is hardness of water? What are the different types? What is hardness of water? What is its classification? What are the different type of salts responsible for hardness and how they are classified? What is hard water? How it is classified into different types? How temporary hardness can be removed? What are the different units of hardness? In this way, number of types of questions can be asked on this particular point number 1. But as we know its detailed concept, then easily we can discuss its answer in different type of ways. For example, simply we can write here at first what is the definition of hardness. As we know, if you don't have idea, you can watch the video related to the hardness of water. So what is the definition of hardness? What are its different types? So during writing its definition, there are 3 different definitions, like it is the soap consuming capacity of water, like it is a prevention to the lathering of soap, like the different type of salts like the sulfates, chlorides, carbonates, bicarbonates of calcium, magnesium, aluminium, ferrous, some different poisonous type of atoms that are responsible. So in this way, the introductory portion about hardness of water should be written there. With that, the different types of hardness, when we will move towards it, there are 2 different types of hardness, that is the temporary and permanent, carbonate and non-carbonate. In the same way, alkaline, non-alkaline. These different types we have to write there, and what are the responsible salts exactly, that are to be written. Then only the answer can be completed. With that, when it is asked that how temporary hardness can be removed, so during that you will have to write the reaction in which bicarbonate, which was invisible, is converted into carbonate. How calcium bicarbonate is converted into calcium carbonate, and how magnesium bicarbonate is converted into ultimately magnesium carbonate. That you have to show by the reactions and then write that in your own language. Then only its answer will be completed. Whenever they're asked the what type of units are there, you have to mention the units as well as its relationship between the different type of units. Then this concept will get completed. So whenever any type of question will ask about this total includes its answer. Now with this second point is EDTA method. EDTA method, as we know that it is there for the determination of hardness. So question can be asked, any type of method is asked for the question, like what is EDTA, how it is used for the determination of hardness, what is hardness of water, what is the complexometric method, which is the complexometric reagent which is used for the determination of hardness. In this way, number of ways are there to ask the questions. You can see the that question bank which is given in the description box. So guys, with this answer will be same in all cases whenever it is asked for 5 to 6 marks. At first you have to write its principle. In principle, simply what is EDTA and how it is used. In just 1 or 2 lines we have to conclude this, that when EDTA comes in contact with hardness causing ions, positive charge ions, it will form a very stable complex in 1:1 proportion. Simply that's it. Then after that, moving towards theory. In theory, you have to draw the structure of EDTA, why we could not use directly EDTA, why there is a use of disodium salt of EDTA, then structure of disodium salt of EDTA, and then structure of calcium or magnesium ion and EDTA, which is there for the after the completion of reaction. Then in this theory, again, you have to mention that what is the way to carry out the reaction, why we get color change from wine red to blue. That all is to be written just in 2 to 3 lines. After theory, moving towards procedure. In this procedure, there are 3 steps. First step is with a standard hard water, second is with the unknown hard water, and third is with a boiled water. So whenever you will use the standard hard water, before that you have to write that how that chemicals are prepared. So firstly, you have prepared EDTA, then standard hard water, then buffer solution, then EBT indicator, and then unknown hard water with a boiled water. That all chemicals, how they are prepared is to be mentioned in short. If you have not time, then you can write it in very short or just its names. After that, moving towards the procedure. In procedure, there are 3 steps. In first step, simply we have to use a standard hard water. Just take a particular volume of standard hard water. It is treated with indicator, then buffer solution, and titrate with EDTA, and that volume which is there is considered as a volume of EDTA required to neutralize or required to remove the hardness from that particular volume of standard hard water sample. In the same way, same type of volumes we will get from the next type of water, that is from the unknown water sample. That is, then third will be for the boiled water sample, V1, V2 and V3 respectively. Okay, now after that, moving towards calculations. In calculations, up to the last equation, that is for the total hardness, then for the permanent hardness, and lastly for the temporary hardness, up to that equation we have to write all the points. Then and then only we can say that its answer is now completed and you will get total mark, undoubtedly. Okay. Now, third point is a boiler trouble. Under the heading of boiler trouble, for 2 to 3 marks, these bits like sludge, scale, priming, foaming, caustic embrittlement can be asked. In this, whenever or wherever there is a diagram, you must have to draw the diagram with proper labeling, and that diagram must be neat and clean. At first, if for example this sludge, it is asked for 3 marks or 2 marks, so simply draw the diagram, label it properly and write its concept, that is what that sludge is. Like, sludge is a soft, loose and slimy precipitate. What type of salts are responsible for it? Then where it is found, that is at the central portion in the boiler. Then it is found at the colder portion. It is found at the low pressure boiler. Like this, all the points are to be shown. And after that, the important thing is that you have to write in short that what are the causes for the boiler. That means what are the reasons for the boiler formation. Like use of hard water, presence of different type of impurities before the use, that is to be written as a causes. Then moving towards its effects. So whenever effects are there, in all cases generally effects are nearly same. Like whenever there is a formation of, for example, scale or sludge or priming or foaming or caustic embrittlement, there is a decreasing or what can we say? It will require more and more heat or energy. That means there is decreasing its efficiency. Fuel will be increased, right? So in this way, all the effects are to be written. And lastly, control measures. In control measures, we must use a soft water instead of harder one. Before feeding it to the boiler, it must be checked that what type of impurities are present in the boiler. That point should be included. In this way, its answer will be designed. Then and then only we can get 2 or 3 marks for each bit in this case. First, its concept, then its causes, effects and control measures. Okay. And examples are must there wherever these are required. Okay. Now, after that, softening of water. Very important and last point. Each of these can ask for 5 to 6 marks. So in this case, some points must be there. Like sometimes we know all the answers and we just try to start to write and just continue it. But not like that. We have to write different points differently. Like, if in softening of water, zeolite method is asked. So at first write the definition of softening of water, then move towards what is zeolite. Under the heading of introduction, write what is zeolite. If it is in case of ion exchange, at first write what is ion exchanger resin. So introductory part about it. Then after that, its construction. Under the heading of construction, draw the diagram Neat, again I am telling you that neat and clean diagram must be there. If possible, write all the labeling from one side of the diagram. It is again one of the impression on our valuer. Then write its construction. In construction, what is given in the diagram, that is to be discussed there. Like, there is a large container in which there is fixed zeolite bed or ion exchange bed. There are 2 containers, there are 3 containers. Like this, in our own language, we can explain its proper construction. That will be construction. Then moving next towards the working. In working, we must have to write that from the starting, when water enters in the container, up from that up to the soft water is removing from that container, all the process must be included in our own language. With that, what type of reactions are occurred there, that is also to be mentioned there. Then after that, what are the reactions for the regeneration, that are also to be written. After that, last point is advantages and disadvantages. In this case, just 1 or 2 points we can write. What are the advantages means, if it is a very costly process or it is a very economical process, if it requires some more manpower, it requires some more expense, that is to be included. What type of water or the quality of softened water is present, then if it is responsible for a different type of attacks, like if some chemicals are added. So in that way, you have to write its advantages and disadvantages. In this way, its answer must be designed. Then and then only you can get total marks. No one is there to cut your mark. So in this way, all these points will there in our first unit of water, that is water treatment and its analysis, or water technology. Now with this, guys, some numericals are asked in this particular unit. Numericals are included for the zeolite process, that is how can you or what is the hardness of water if this particular amount of water is cleaned in the zeolite by the zeolite bed, and zeolite bed will require such amount of NaCl solution for the regeneration. So during that, just first, my important suggestion to you, that you must have to determine the multiplication factor of NaCl, which is 50 upon 58.5, and it is to be multiplied with the amount of NaCl which is given in that particular problem. So that will be your hardness, and if the amount it is given, that is to be divided by that amount. Or if amount is asked and hardness is given, then it is divided with that particular hardness. Then you can get the amount of hardness or amount of water which is given in there, in that particular numerical. So in this way, numericals based on zeolite method can be solved, while numericals which are based on hardness of water, just determine the total hardness, temporary hardness or permanent hardness, such type of questions are there. In that case, simply the multiplication factor, and when the amount it is given of that particular salt, it is to be multiplied with that multiplication factor to get the CaCO3 equivalent, and then CaCO3 equivalent is nothing but the hardness. If it is asked for the temporary hardness, then add some temporary salts. If it is asked for total hardness, then add some total salts. If it is asked for permanent hardness, then add only the permanent type of salts. So like this, we have to solve the problems. For each and every point that I am telling now is having a different type of videos in our playlist. You can go and watch right away, so that you can get total answers of this particular video. Okay guys, with this I am very thankful to you that you are staying tuning with me. If you are new for the channel, subscribe the channel, then like the video and share this video to your friends who are needy for the same. So thank you guys, thank you once again.